Welcome everyone, Mark here with the Average Me channel, and today we are going to be doing a product review of the Shark Ion Robot Vacuum Cleaner. In this video we're going to be looking at the Shark Ion Robot Vacuum Cleaner. There's a lot of automatic vacuum cleaners on the market today. The most popular and famous is probably the Roomba. So why did I go for the Shark? Well, pretty simple really. It had relatively good reviews online and it was less expensive than the Roomba. I purchased mine at Target. I also had some gift cards and coupons. There was a deal going on for this product, so I bought it. Well, let's take a look at what it consists of, a quick start guide, and my pros and cons for this particular brand, the Shark Ion Robot. You'll get the unit itself. Here you see it docked in its charging station. A set of 4 brushes. 2 of these are already installed, so 2 are spares. You get an extra filter, a remote control, and according to the paperwork, I should have a hair removal tool. I don't seem to have it. I went through all the packaging, so I don't know if I missed it, if I already lost it, I've only owned this for a week, or if it never came. But it doesn't really matter. I'll show you how to clean it with or without a hair removal tool. Let's begin by looking at the unit itself. You can see that there are blue lights here. That's indicating that it is fully charged right now. As it's charging, these lights will be flashing. And when they're through flashing, that means it's fully charged. If I wanted to start it right now, all I would have to do is put it on the floor, push the clean button, and away it goes. Underneath is pretty basic. These are the charging pads. You want to clean those occasionally to make sure they make a good contact. These brushes can be replaced. As I said, we got a set of 4 of these and you only need 2 at a time, so as they wear out, you can replace those. Those spin, and they actually spin in this direction, and they sweep the dust into this rotating brush. Now, not only can these be replaced, but this rotating brush can be replaced to clean. Very simple. You just pull that out, and then you can clean this off. The first time I cleaned it, I just went in. It looks like it needs a little cleaning right now. There's some hair wrapped around there. But I just took it out, and with my finger I just removed the debris. Hair did tend to wrap around in the center here. Right around the end you can see there's some little grooves in there, and that's where I found hair. Let's see if I can get it in focus. Right there is where hair tended to collect. So all I did is I got a little razor blade, like a X-Acto knife, and I just cut it a little bit and peeled it right off. To put that back, you see an arrow there and an arrow there. We line up the arrows and it snaps into place. And then we put this back and that snaps into place. And you're all ready to go. There are sensors underneath. You want to make sure that those are cleaned off periodically as well. Just wipe them down, make sure there's no dust or debris. That's one of the things that keeps it from going over the edge of a stair. And this is a front sensor. When you get it, there will be a piece of plastic covering that up. Make sure that you remove that. This is a charging port. You can see we have 2 contacts right here. We want to make sure those are clean. Those are going to come in contact with the metal contacts underneath the robot. And over here on the wall, it's plugged in. That is where your power comes from. And it just plugs into the side. You have to make sure this is pushed up against a wall, because when it comes in, you don't want it to push it out of the way. It's not very heavy. And they want several feet of clearance on either side. There's several ways to start it. One is to push clean on the remote control. The other is to push clean on the device itself. If you do either of those, it will back itself out of the charging port and start vacuuming. I prefer to set it in the room I want to be vacuumed and then push the start button. My house has an open concept, every room connects to the other. and I couldn't close off doorways. So what do? I found that it was just way too big an area. I wasn't sure if it was getting thoroughly clean. So what I decided to do is clean a room or an area at a time. And it's easy to do this because they give you some boundary strips. They're magnetic strips. There's about 13 feet of strip that you get in the packaging. I went on Amazon and I ordered some extra right away because I think it'll be helpful to have more than that 13 feet. But let me show you how it works. This is a room I want to vacuum. But you see that it connects to some hardwood flooring, and I don't want the vacuum to go beyond the hardwood floor. So I can create a barrier. The unit comes with this flexible magnetic rubber strip. All we need to do is lay this on the ground surrounding the area that we don't want the robot to pass beyond. So there is the magnetic strip in place. Now, they do make a little corner piece that can connect these together. I found that it really isn't necessary. I just cut a few strips with a scissors to length, and now that's enough to go over most doorways. It's about, I don't know, 30 inches wide, and it senses this little gap here. I really don't need to completely cover that. Same with the edge. And this is what those look like. They're just little connectors that it slides into to create a corner. That's what it looks like when it's charging. You can see the lights are flashing back and forth. I only removed it from the dock for a few minutes to show you the underside, so I'm sure it's fully charged, so I'm going to start it right now. As I said, there's two ways to start it. One is to push this clean button. It'll back out and start cleaning. And the other is to push clean on the remote. So let's just take a look at option one. And there it goes. I moved it to the room in which we just created this barrier with the tape. I could either push the clean button or do it with the remote. Now watch what happens when it hits the barrier. So let's look at some tricky areas. A transition like this, I don't know, it's maybe a ½ inch bump going from the hardwood to the tile. It has no problem going over this at all. And it also doesn't have a problem with heavy-duty area rugs like this one. There he goes. I did find that lighter weight throw rugs may or may not be a problem. Sometimes it makes it over, sometimes it bunches them up. So I have just found I can shake them off in an area that's going to be vacuumed anyway, set them aside. After the vacuuming's done, I just put them back. Let's look at spot cleaning. Let's say you drop something, maybe some dirt came out of a flower pot, you drop some sugar on the floor. All we do is push spot clean, and it will contain itself to one small area. If I pick it up, it automatically stops. What about corners, crevices, and stairwells? Well, this device obviously cannot go up and down stairs, so you're still going to have to vacuum your stairs occasionally the traditional way. Also, it can't get deep into corners. The brushes work pretty good to go along edges and that sort of thing, but I would imagine, having had this just a week, that I will occasionally still have to get out the vacuum and really get into those hard to reach areas, the crevices and the corners, but I won't have to do that nearly as much. I do find there are some trouble areas. For example, like the cat's litter box. In that area, the cats may jump out and a little bit of litter may go right up along the edge of the box. I will just take a little brush or a broom and I'll just sweep it out, and I let the robot come and pick it up and do the rest of the work. Also, people have been asking over and over again online, how does it do with pet hair? Really, really well. I am very satisfied with the way that it sweeps up cat hair and picks up cat hair. I'll show you in just a moment how to empty it, Like I said, I have vacuumed that room before, but the cats have been in it. I don't know how much shedding they do. The house really looks clean to me, but I was surprised at how well this vacuum picks up. Now, it's only been vacuuming, I don't know, the whole time we've been talking here, maybe 5 or 6 minutes. And by the look of it, it seemed to have crisscrossed and covered the area pretty efficiently. May not have done the whole thing, but I want to show you how to empty it out. So we're going to stop it now, and we'll see what, if anything, it was able to pick up. Right in the back, kind of hard to do with 2 hands. You push this out. Now the top, we don't have to open that up. That's where the filter goes. I will open it just to show you. That's where you'd replace the filter. And then down here, if I push this button and slide it out, again, I don't know how well I'll be able to do this with one hand. So this doesn't look like much, but as I said, it's only been working about 5 minutes, and that was already a clean room. But you can see that the cat hair, it really does a good job. I don't know, well, you can see that in picking up cat hair. Do not get this wet. There is a little mesh screen here. There's your filter on the other side. All you do is take this to the trash can and shake it out. Now, the really cool thing, as long as it has access to its charging port, when the battery starts to go down, it will travel over there all by itself, it'll dock itself, and it'll start to recharge until you need it the next time. And if I push dock, no matter if I do that on the device or on the remote, it'll find its way home. There it's searching, trying to figure out where its dock is. Up to this point, I've only had that happen once or twice because usually I am having it vacuum contained areas, contained rooms. And it's just an easy thing to pick it up and physically put it in its docking port as well. How does it deal with obstructions? Well, if there's too many little areas, it might bump into things, it might get stuck in places. I haven't found it's a really big problem. It tends to be able to go over most thresholds with relative ease. It also manages to find its way out. If it gets stuck, it'll bounce around for a little bit, and it manages to find its way out. Now you might be wondering, well, is it constantly going to bang into my furniture? Occasionally it bumps into furniture, but its sensors, I find, are pretty good, and it starts to slow down as it approaches something, and typically it stops when it's an inch or 2 away. Sometimes it does bump into things, but it's a relatively light bump. Now, did you just hear that? I don't know if you heard that. It was just going over the edge of the hardwood floor, and then it hit the barrier and turned around. So I could hear that little thump. I don't think that really is damaging the hardwood because it's just a nylon wheel, a nylon roller underneath. So the big question, how well does it clean? Well, I have a pretty clean house. Nobody enters with shoes in the house, but I do have 2 cats. And I was amazed at how well this picks up and finds dirt. And when we're done with that room, I have vacuumed that room for the past 2 days, and it doesn't really get a lot of use, but you're gonna find it still does manage to pick up the debris. It's very quiet. My cats, one of them is really afraid of vacuum cleaners, and she is not bothered by this at all. She's kind of curious and will watch it, and she'll move away from it, but it's quiet. It's only about 20 feet from us right now. You might be able to hear a little of the humming, but it's very quiet, so you can do other things. It's not like a loud vacuum cleaner. If you want to sit and watch TV while it's vacuuming, if you want to be on the phone, if you want to be doing other tasks, it'll just do its job. So what's my final analysis? I am really happy with the Shark Ion Robot Vacuum Cleaner. It gets a thumbs up from me, A+. It's done everything I expected of it. Of course, I've only had it a week, so I don't know how long it's going to last, but as long as it holds up, I am really happy. It's easy to use. Push the button, let it go. Easy to clean. I just snap out that tray, empty it out, snap it back. It does a really good job of cleaning. Now I know it didn't look like it picked up a lot in this video. It was only vacuuming for a few minutes in a room that had just been vacuumed. So it does a good job, even on pet hair. Of course, the drawbacks, I think the drawbacks are pretty obvious. It can't go up and down stairs. It's not going to go deep into corners. It's not going to find those hard to reach areas. But if you really want to keep your carpets and your floors clean between those deep cleanings, this is a wonderful device. It won't eliminate vacuuming, but it will reduce it substantially. And I suggest that if you're in the market for an automatic robotic vacuum cleaner, I would heartily recommend the Shark. As always, if you like these product reviews, or if you like my travels and my visits to interesting places, I encourage you to share the videos, like the videos, and as always, if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'm Mark from the Average Me channel.